Hi, welcome to Downtown Rotary. I'm Mark DeGroff, and your president for this Rotary year and this one last meeting. So let us stand and sing the first verse of America.
Sweet land of liberty, love me, I say. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring.
Thank you. You may be seated. I do know that I step further away from the microphone while we sing that. And I will never stand as close to the microphone as Grace Morrison does while we're singing. I just was not gifted with that ability. While Val Vandersloot comes on up to introduce our guests and do our Rotary Minute, I'll share with you that our June featured charity is Sound the Alarm. The Kansas-Nebraska chapter of the American Red Cross held the Sound the Alarm event in Topeka on April 27th. Volunteers canvassed neighborhoods and inspected or installed fire alarms. The neighborhoods were primarily in East and North Topeka, so your cut money for the last time for June as well goes to that charity. And I do know that the Rotary Foundation, our local foundation, is looking for more applicants for cut money for this next Rotary year as well. So if you know of any organizations, please recommend that they apply. Val.
Thank you to President Mark, and I also want to say thank you for 8 years worth of wonderful Rotary. I can't believe it's already the end of June, so I just wanted to recognize Mark. So we have a couple of guests today. I have Katie Beach, if you wouldn't mind standing, and we can greet you and welcome you to the meeting. She is from Azura Credit Union, Community Development Manager, and a guest of Jim McCullough. So thank you, Katie, for joining us. Let's all welcome Katie. And then we have Sandra Brown from First Presbyterian Church, the pastor and guest of Mike Hall. All welcome. And our last guest we have is Bob Seibel. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Rural Development Business Owner, guest of Sam Nassler.
Hi, Bob.
All right, so welcome to our guest today, and I do also have the Rotary Minute. I thought I would, I know I kind of did this last time I was up here for the Rotary Minute, but I've been so impressed with this program that I've been able to be a part of here with Rotary that I thought I would give an update on how things are going with the mentorship program. Because as we know, we started a mentorship program over the year, and it's something I started with thinking, okay, well, I can do for a little bit. I don't have a lot of time, but I'll see what all I can do. And the school year ended, and I still continue my relationship with my mentee, Raina Easter, and she is a shining star. I've been able to help her in meetings to get into the ROTC. She has a number of family issues happening, but just a true model in that family issues, everything that she's experiencing, does not tear her down, and she continues to strive and is going to be attending Washburn Tech next year. She is a very caring individual. She has a very good friend. Her name is Gracie, which I've been able to take them to the library over the summer. I give them rides around, and actually, she was very sad in the spring because Gracie had to drop out of school because Gracie found out that she was expecting. And Gracie is also a caregiver to her grandmother, and so Raina has been working with the hopes that she can help fund and help her with money for diapers. You know, so she is such a caring individual. But I just want to let you know, this mentorship program is the reason, one of the main reasons why I love Rotary. It's something that I've grown very attached to and hope that we're able to continue the program. Lee Morris, thank you so much for getting me involved in this. You know, I'm very busy, but it's amazing when you get involved and you become passionate about something, how you can make time regardless of what it is that you have going on in your own life. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Val. We're going to start with the least fun announcements now and move toward the more fun ones. So, for the 2019-2020 Rotary year, dues will be increasing $2. That is due to an increase in Rotary International dues and an increase in meal costs. So dues will be $209 for the third quarter. Meals at the door will begin to be $14 starting with the July 11th meeting. So again, I said we're going to start with the least fun and move toward the more fun, so stick with me. Our July 11th meeting is at the Topeka Country Club. Please wear a collared shirt and no Daisy Dukes. Passing of the gavel from Mark to 2019-2020 Club President Joni Underwood will be our program. Because the club is spending just a bit more on this meal, please RSVP by July 5th. Watch your emails or register on the club's website. We also have had a number of things that have happened really positively this year. One of those is the club office has moved from the Ramada to the YWCA. We got a great deal on rent, and Kathleen and her team have been very warm and welcoming to us. We have a beautiful view of the dome and a wonderful space to conduct business out of. The new address there is 225 Southwest 12th Street. The office phone number will be out for a few weeks. So if you need Linda or need to touch base with us in the office, call her on her cell phone, and that number is 785-554-4402. And with that, we have had a number of amazing service projects this year, and Jeanette and her committee have done some great work. And it's my pleasure to introduce three folks for an upcoming service project who are going to share a little bit about what's going on over at Highcrest and how much they're helping in that neighborhood. This is Carol Denton. She's the local outreach coordinator for Fellowship Bible Church. Sarah Cook, who's the coordinator for Highcrest Campus and an outreach coordinator. And Carolyn Hess, who is the summer college intern with FBC as well. So it's my pleasure to introduce these three, and they're going to come up and share with us what is going on over at Highcrest real briefly, and also share we had a plethora of leftover backpacks from a water walk, and they are putting those to good use here in just a bit, so they're going to share all those details with you. So please give a warm downtown Rotary welcome to these three.
Okay, so hi, my name is Carolyn Hess, and I'm the, like I said, the local outreach intern at Fellowship Bible Church this summer. I'm also going into my senior year at Pittsburgh State University, and I'm studying early childhood development and special education. And God's really been giving me a passion for helping families and educating them as a whole. So I'm going to talk about back to school because that's one of the main events that I've been working on this summer. It's an event hosted by Fellowship Bible Church, and the main reason for hosting it is to provide school supplies for 250 students of the Topeka public school system. And while we're specifically partnering with 4 target schools of Ross Elementary, Eisenhower Middle, Highland Park Central, and Highland Park High, any student in the Topeka public school system is able to come get supplies. The supplies are not free though. We're asking everyone to bring either 1 can of food, any student to bring 1 can of food, or $1, and both of those will be donated to the Topeka Rescue Mission. And the reason we're doing this is because we believe that everyone has value, and we also believe in doing things with our neighbors instead of for our neighbors. The other part of the day is we're inviting local companies to come be a part of the event. So whether it's community resources like low-cost dental and vision care, like Adventure Dental and Vision, or counseling services like Christ First Counseling, we want the families to be aware of these opportunities for them. The FBC's outreach team really thought about this day and wanted to make an impact, and so we were thinking of the key values that we wanted to show. And so the 2 key words that we landed on were dignity and resources. We want to be respectful to our neighbors, and we want to love them fully, and we also want to help shed light to various resources that could have been considered out of reach to some.
So I'm Sarah Cook. I am the outreach coordinator at our Highcrest campus for Fellowship Bible Church. I'm here to talk to you today about one of the organizations that we're going to be highlighting, which is called SENT. And SENT stands for Strengthening and Equipping Neighborhoods Together. SENT is a non-religious nonprofit organization that was established in 2018 that works within under-resourced communities in Topeka, using the strategies of developing loving relationships, offering life-giving resources, and life-changing experiences to bring transformation to neighborhoods in Shawnee County. There are 3 areas that SENT focuses on: education, housing, and community wellness. Currently, there's 140 students that are participating in SENT's Launch Stream program held at Avondale East. Launch is an education program offered after school during the school year and during the summer. STREAM stands for science, technology, reading, engineering, art, and mathematics. This program was developed to help combat what is known as summer slide. And summer slide is where, summer slide is where children lose their skills that they have learned during the school year. So to combat that, SENT has developed this STREAM program. So they will learn things like dissecting a pig's heart, reading skills, math skills, building rockets, learning how to code, those type of programs. And right now there's about 140 people that are doing this through the end of July over at our Highcrest campus at Avondale East. Community wellness is another aspect of SENT that is providing counseling services at Avondale East through Christ First Counseling Service. And these are available for children and adults that are suffering from grief, loss, depression, anxiety, and more. Another area that SENT is working in is housing. And SENT has currently remodeled 2 houses in the Highcrest neighborhood that are now rented. And they just broke ground last week on their first new construction home. So they work beside the residents to teach them skills to maintain a job and teach them the responsibilities of homeownership and taking pride in that. So Back to School Bash and SENT are 2 examples of how working for the community and with the community brings about hope and a better outlook for the future. Community works when communities work together. For more information about SENT or to volunteer for SENT, you can go to senttopeka.com or write them at info@senttopeka.com.
Thank you for sharing more information about that upcoming service project and about your organization and the great work you're doing. Thank you also for leaving my agenda here. I've had a number of speakers this year make great announcements and then walk right off the podium with the agenda. So it's funny, as president, we have the opportunity to look at some different statistics through Club Runner that we don't always have a chance to see if we're not serving on the board or have those administrative features turned on. There aren't any big secrets on there, but one of them is club attendance. And it's amazing how much more highly attended meetings for Mr. Blackburn, Coach Blackburn from Washburn, and some of our other programs, or the General from K-State, have been than our outgoing presidential meetings. So it's a direct correlation to approval rating, I believe. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you who made the time today to come out. I really mean that. And I want to make it worth your time, and we are going to get out early. As president of Topeka Rotary, we have a chance to practice as a newly elected president or a president-elect. We have several years to learn how the board operates and several years to fill in for the current president if they can't make a meeting. And you know, I thought I'd get everything off to a really strong start, and I hear that I had more similarities to Al when I first got on the mic than I did any other past president, and really struggled with the microphone. So in the second time that I filled in for one of the presidents before I had a chance to serve this year, I thought, I'm really going to get squared away. And I've told some of you individually this story before, and I'm going to keep it family friendly. But I thought things went really, really well that second time when I filled in. In fact, the meeting couldn't have gone more smoothly. We got right through the agenda. We ended a little bit early. And let's just suffice it to say, I was very grateful for a large podium. And when I visited the men's room afterward, I realized that there was one other item that I needed to check religiously going forward. And so for all of this year, I have absolutely made sure that my shoes were tied and my fly was zipped up. With that said, I will share that one of our state's better leaders was recently with 30 of the brightest minds in our state. And this is someone who teaches leadership for a living. This is somebody who, when you add up the years of education of the people in the room individually, they don't total 12, they total like 22 or more. These are really, really well-educated and bright people. And he shared 70% of the time as leaders, we miss the bar. 70% of the time we mess it up. It's so interesting to me to come together with a group of fellow leaders and have the chance to encourage your hearts and to see what we do as a Rotary Club. That's very meaningful to me. It's also meaningful to me that this year we didn't get everything right. We didn't get everything perfect. And I appreciate your grace, and I appreciate the chance to serve. And I think that's important for every leader, and that we, as leaders, we expect that and hope for that from our teams. And as people who are in organizations with other leaders coming out of them, it's important they have our respect and that we give them grace as well. Rotary's bigger than all of us put together. You know, I learned that. We do some amazing things in our club and locally, and I want to go over that list and talk about the inputs and the outputs, but also talk about the outcomes and share a story. If you haven't participated in an international event or a service project, you're missing out. Rotary is so diverse, and Rotary is so big and is so international. I would encourage you to pursue that opportunity. As long as you're in Rotary, it will be meaningful and it will broaden your horizon of what you think Rotary does and can do. So this year, we started a Past Presidents Council under Grace Morrison's leadership. And we're going to engage past presidents in a very meaningful way, and they decided to work on membership. And going forward, I'm so excited about that. This year, under Roger Ashelman's leadership, we started a Century Plus Club, and we recognized Rotarians whose age plus their years in Rotary total more than 125. And with that group, we actually started with the highest numbers, which I believe were quite a bit over 150. And the legacy, I've said frequently, and many of you have laughed, that we have Rotarians in the club who have been Rotarians for longer than I've been alive, longer than I've been on the planet. And that's not a shot at them. And if anything, that's a shot at me. We have an incredible legacy, and we have so much history as a club, and so many people have served for so long. And people my age and younger have so many opportunities to continue that and do that in a beautiful way. We assembled Fresh Start Kits, started an Angel Tree, and other joint anti-human trafficking efforts with other clubs in our community under Patty Bossert's leadership. Our service committee has developed a process. So now when clubs or anybody else, any nonprofit comes to us and says, we could use volunteers or we want your support, we have a process to evaluate that, a formal process and an application. They also increased service opportunities outside of 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and gave everybody in the club, regardless of their schedule or flexibility, more opportunity to serve, and that was important to us this year. Our mentor program, which Val highlighted earlier, and which Lee and Angel and Jeremy have done such amazing work with at Highland Park, has just grown and flourished under their leadership. Thank you. Our strategic plan was created under Joni's leadership, and going forward, for the next 3 presidents, they are really on the same page, and I'm so excited about the future of our club and the hands that the club is going to be in. Our Rotary Foundation engaged the second wonderful organization who's doing amazing work with our signature grant. Look what happened from the 3-year grant process with the first organization, and I can't wait to hear and learn more about what's going to happen with the current organization and our efforts to fight human trafficking and for them to build rapport in this new drop-in center with people who are experiencing such horrible things. We moved the office to the YWCA. So every week now, nothing wrong with the downtown Ramada, but every month now, when we cut that check goes to a nonprofit. That's just that much more service, that much more investment in our local community to a group and an organization that's doing amazing work. Nothing wrong with for-profit business, but I couldn't feel better about them being our landlord and the opportunities we have as a club to save money there and support them through that. So many of you gave so much. Steve Knoll and so many others. Anita said she couldn't be here today. Linda, all your hard work on the district conference. Over and over again, we've heard from people who've attended dozens of those that this was the best district conference that they'd ever been to. And our club did that. We put that on. And that committee worked really, really hard for a lot of months going into that to plan that and do great work. So thank you. We've achieved Star Club giving status, which means that per capita, per person, we average $100 or more from the club in giving. And what that does is the district reinvests that money back into our club and local service projects. And so that's more money that will be available for Jonies next year and for service projects for all of you to participate in. One thing that I am so excited about is the global grant possibility that Grace and some of our newest members are working on in Africa. We have more boots on the ground and more of an ability and more experts associated with that than we've ever had before, and they're members of our club. Some of them are there right now. We still haven't awarded one of them a red badge because she's traveling and helping do the study and the feasibility of the pre-grant work before we apply for that. And so we're doing amazing things, not just here in the community, but worldwide. And we've made significant progress toward a new permanent place for lunch. Believe it or not, that's not the easiest thing to find. And there are some great things coming down the road. And we have more great opportunities for that as each month goes by. And so that's important that we be a little bit more patient with that and let that process play out in the right way so that it's affordable and it's quality and it's convenient and it's something that every one of you is proud to invite guests to and is something that represents our club well. So, in talking about some of the numbers from this year, Soulmates and Covered in Coats gave coats to 486 kids. We had 56 Rotarians who volunteered. Interact and the Scots Movement at Highland Park High School, we believed, helped 500 plus people. That's through their clothing bank, through all of the work that they're doing. That's diapers for that clinic for those kids. And that's ties for those young men who are learning how to, as Roger Ashelman would put it, shake hands appropriately while you look somebody in the eye and introduce yourself. Washburn Rotary Career Days, we helped more than 1,000 students on that day. 51 of you participated in that as volunteers. And the Francine Hines International Scholarships, we've made the difference, a world of difference in several students' lives, and we have another scholarship check coming for that as well. So again, incredible things have happened. To me, it's not the numbers, it's not the outputs and the inputs, but it's the outcomes. By the very nature of what I get to do, my job involves service every day. In fact, I just got a call that a heads up about somebody that I should be aware of, that someone who lives not very far from the main shelter at the Mission overnight chose to, while they probably were not in a sound mind, take a hatchet to our pop machine in our smoking area immediately outside the front door of our main shelter. So our safety team walked out and said, "Is there anything that we can help you with? Would you like a soda? We could probably help you get one." And she really growled at them and didn't really want to talk to them. And she responded and kind of stopped, and they said, "We'd really like you to take a different direction with your next actions because we really don't want you arrested and we really don't want to have to call 911. Would you consider that?" And she walked right down into Tent City, which has between 75 and 100 people living in it immediately east of the rescue mission. That's between Perodsky's, who many of you are familiar with, and the main shelter, 600 North Kansas at the Mission. And my team is down there 3 or 4 times a week, outreaching those folks and helping provide them the items that will hopefully keep them out of survival mode and help them feel loved and understand that our community cares about them. And so I get service and I get change and all those other things. Another thing that was really important to us and that we identified going into this year was leadership and the opportunity through the Kansas Leadership Center to embrace the courses and the opportunity that Rotarians have at no cost to you to take those classes. And so many of you embrace that and have taken those first classes that are available. And I could not be more excited that so many of you who did that are also sitting on our board going forward and are involved. And would encourage you to get more and more involved. Rotary and the opportunities for our club and for you as an individual member are just going to get greater with that. And that can change the heart of our city. If you are looking at leadership and looking at change management, I cannot recommend another course more highly than that. And the fact that we are making significant progress as a district and many of our club members have taken that is huge. In fact, I sit on a couple other boards and we directed one of our executive directors, who you know, to go through that class this year and take his whole staff through that. They're a nonprofit, they don't have a lot of funds available for development, and yet we said that's a priority and that's something you ought to go do. And that'll pay back in spades and exponentially. So outcomes, just want to share, and I want this then to be participatory and everybody to come up who served as a committee head or served on the board this year. We want to give one photo of all of you, but I want to share that at Christmas time, the very nature of what I do at the mission is flexible. And I wind up giving people who are high on meth or high on drugs rides over to detox, and people who are in crisis over to the crisis center. And at Christmas time and the holidays, it's a whole lot of fun because there are so many people from our community who've been adopted by United Way and by other organizations. And I have a chance to pack a lot of those Christmas gifts for those families into the vehicle that I drive for work and go deliver those. And those are the people who oftentimes can't get to the location on their own. This year I went to Highcrest and was in Highcrest delivering some of those. And then I went right over just a little ways away from where we've given away so many shoes and so many warm coats in Pine Ridge. And I can't tell you how much fun it is for me to go places ministering to folks like that. And I dropped off a package of gifts to one door at a duplex, and the next door opened up. And in some of those neighborhoods, when doors and windows open up, I start paying attention real quickly, and my running shoes start activating if they need to. In this case, a mom walked out and she said, "You?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "You're part of that group that comes over here with shoes and coats." I said, "Yeah." I didn't know what she wanted, and she said, "Thank you. That was the only way my kid had a warm coat this year. Thank you." Our kid at Pine Ridge Academy, learning there. You guys made the difference. And that's all of you, that's not me. But together, that's what we do as a club. So that little kid had a warm coat because of you. So it's with that I want to share that I think our club is in a great place. I think we've had amazing leadership. I think we're activating our past presidents and all of that talent in a way that we maybe never have before, because of Dr. Grace Morrison and her good work with the Past President's Council. I think looking forward, I could not be more excited about Joni's year and the board that's supporting her and the projects that are queued up for all of you to participate in. They're going to be a ton of fun. I think our club is going to continue to take amazing strides forward, and it's been an honor, and I really am grateful for the chance to serve you and for this year. And I'm really grateful for your grace. I am looking forward to getting 15 to 20 hours a week back. And I hear that from a lot of past presidents. And going forward, Hank is no longer a puppy. He's a 1-year-old now, and he's almost retrieving to hand and doing really well. And Hank and I are going to go work on our flip-flop tans, you know, the little strap on your foot that is a tan line. And we are going to volunteer with Heroes on the Water and Project Healing Waters Fly Fishing. Both those organizations work with veterans, and Hank and I are going to start a new one called Heal with Hank and take veterans with injuries, give them access to shooting and hunting opportunities that they might not otherwise have. So you'll notice a few common themes in our going forward. One, they're outdoors, And 2, we're generally going to be wearing flip-flops in our volunteer efforts. So if you see me wander into a lunch sometime down the road in flip-flops, know that I probably couldn't squeeze into dress shoes that day, but please don't hold it against me. With that, it's been a wonderful year. Thank you all very, very much. Anybody who served on the board this year, and I know not everybody's here, and anybody who was a committee head, please come forward. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the work that you put in this year, all the good that you did for our club, and all the good that you did for our community. We want to grab one big group photo, and we'll do that immediately after we conclude. And so we'll do that right after we conclude, and we are going to end just a little bit early so that we can get that all done and get all of you back to your next meeting. With that, any questions for the speaker today? We have a history here of asking our speakers to sign a book plate, and I'm going to sign that today, and also ask the 3 of you to sign that with me if you would, as part of our program. We also have a history of giving Rotary 4-way test points away to our speakers. We invite speakers because we respect their core values and what they're doing in the community, and we want to honor that with you, and would ask that each of you 3 would take one of these and hold on to that, and know that we respect you and admire the good work you're doing. And when you see those characteristics being modeled in other folks, please feel free to pass that point on and encourage that as well. So if the 3 of you would come up, I'll give you those points now. And Joni, if you come forward, I've got one thing for you. And the three of you and I are going to sign the book plate here in a minute. That book is something that actually we then donated in your honor to Ross Elementary School's library. And so I heard you mention that school earlier, and our club has donated those for a long, long time. So, Joni, this is a very, very special, very, very high dollar, 4.5-way rotary coin. I have it specially engraved for you on a beer budget. The word fun is written on a sticky note and wrapped around this 4-way test. We've discussed the 4-way test this year a number of times, and I'm really looking forward to how we implement that in your next year. Thank you. Stay right there, Jim. We'll say the 4-way test, 4.5-way test, and then here in 1 second. So please remember, next week is a holiday. Enjoy Independence Day, everybody. We do not have a meeting that week. And July 11th, we'll be at the Topeka Country Club. Please watch your emails for an RSVP. We would appreciate it if you would help us control costs and RSVP for your lunch meeting. And the program will be passing in the gavel and the first meeting for Joni Underwood. So with that, please rise and say the 4.5-way test, and we'll conclude. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it
Fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And is it fun? Thank you. We're adjourned.